Hello, Denise Ramon at deniseramon.com. How are you doing?
Hi, I'm doing well, doing good. It's a nice, sunny, hot day.
Happy Memorial Day. Labor Day. And hello, my son Eric. I love you too.
He says hello. He's dressed funny. He's got on patriotic socks up to his knees. He's being funny with tennis shoes on and shorts, and he's very patriotic. And he's just saying,
Oh,
he's saying hello, Mama. He goes. And he keeps going. He just reaches around you and just gives you a big kiss. And he's just saying, "Hello, Mom." I know. He's just,
sweet boy.
he's just exuding love all around you right now, which is the color you're wearing is very appropriate to magnify that, I feel.
Oh, thank you, sweetie. Okay, we are going to talk to, if you can get in, as many of these people as possible, but beggars can't be choosers. But we're trying to get Albert Einstein, Nikola Tesla, and Royal Raymond Rife, because we want to talk about portals or energy vortexes in our energy bodies and our dwellings, etc. So can we do that, Eric?
He said yes, and
And you particularly chose Denise for this wonderful job.
I'm very honored. I'm just like blown away by it, to be honest.
Yeah, and I want to know why. That's pretty cool.
He says one to stretch me. He says one to stretch me, and he says I don't even know my own intelligence, so I can see. And here comes Einstein, Albert Einstein. He's saying hello. He's coming in and he's going hello, and there's like 3 chairs there, and he sits in one. He pulls it out kind of to sit down, and then Erik is bringing in that. What's his first name? Rife.
Royal Raymond Rife.
Royal Raymond Rife. RRR. Erik says.
Triple R.
He's bringing him in, and he's sitting down. He's got on a lot of brown for some reason.
Okay.
And then here comes Nikola Tesla. He's coming in, and they're all sitting down, and they feel Erik, and then Erik stands behind them, but then he sits down next to Albert Einstein, and they all feel very honored and very excited for this moment. And Erik had already told them that they would be asked to come here, and they're all very honored. It's almost like they can't believe that they're being asked to come forth, like somebody wants to hear them. I know, and I'm just like,
oh my God, it's the opposite. Are you kidding me?
I know, and I'm just like, of all people, we want, we kind of wish you were here today in physical form.
Yeah.
And so, but they're all here, and I feel like the way their energy is like, it's almost like they, because they were really out of their realm in a sense. They were kind of isolated. Not very many people thought the way that of their thinking process. And
that's true. When they were humans.
Yes.
Yeah, I know.
So it's kind of like right now, it's like they have that feeling. Erik says they're very grateful that people want to hear what they have to say. And Erik says even though they know people are used in their work and stuff, they still feel very honored, very humbled that people are calling on them now, because I don't feel like that was the case when they were here as much. Albert Einstein says he, people listen to him for the most part on certain things, but I feel like Nicholas, for Tesla, I feel like people thought he was a bit off. He was a bit off, like
Oh, you know what?
he was too out there.
I don't know. I think that was by design. I think people wanted his reputation to be ruined so that we would not have free energy, infinite energy. Because if you can't put a meter on it, then you can't make money on it. So,
Well, he does say that there was a lot of backstage people helping with that. Yes,
yeah.
And I feel like to ruin. He says my reputation was not very good. He says
It's terrible, awful. A lot of suppressed technology, bad. All right, so what are portals? We have them apparently open portals and we have closed portals in our energy body, in our homes, apartments, maybe in our vehicle. It could be anywhere. So can you talk, whoever wants to talk about that, please do.
Tesla's coming forward first on that one, and I feel like he talked about this or had expressed something to this nature when he was here in physical form. But he's saying, how can we not have portals? He says we're energy. We're just, it's just like having energy in one place and not having energy in another place. And he's talking about like electricity or something, having, and he says our bodies are that way too. Parts of us are shut off or closed to whatever reason, and parts are more open, more expanded than others. He said, how could we not think that we don't have these portals within our energy field? He says within our, he says it's not soul. What is he saying? He just says within our energy system. How could we not have that in there?
What are portals? Are they more a little expansions in our energetic field?
He said, he's showing me the portals are like for the portals that are just open and how they're supposed to be. He says it's all about us and us on how we he says it does have to do with our consciousness, our awareness of things, it how we what we have around us. And when he says that, I feel like the types of energy around us that help to expand stuff within us. He goes, it's like being around happy people, and you get happy with them and you stay in a good mood, and that it just expands and you walk away and you just feel really good. He goes the same way with these portals, these energy portals. When you're around environments that that aren't in alignment with yours, and you have a tendency to draw that energy in, and that can either close a portal, those things that you want open, or it can open portals for allow more of that to come in. You know how you go around, he says you're around people that are negative and always down and stuff, and you bring that stuff in. He said, so then you walk away feeling, down and negative and everything's horrible. So you've expanded that portal, and what you've done is you've opened that up about what it is you don't like, instead of opening up more of what it is you do like. So it works both ways. And the way he's telling me, it's our environment and stuff. And he goes, some things you can't help because, and he's talking about now because of everything around us. And he's also pointing out to me, and this also goes to you and anybody else that lives with, he's showing me how these refineries we have, those big white towers, or they're not towers, but those round things that they keep gasoline in or oil in around where we live and stuff like that. He says all of that has an effect on us.
Yeah.
And he says, so, it's just because it's all energy, and what does it do to us? Does it mix with us? And he says, he's saying how some of this 5G energy that's coming around, how it affects our body, because we're energy.
So is it opening portals that should be?
Sometimes it opens portals sometimes it's opening. It's like he says it's kind of like it opens portals that shouldn't be opened, because our body knows how to close things off, and then knows how to open things. And then sometimes this stuff will open the portals that it shouldn't be, and then or sometimes it closes portals that should be open.
So maybe people should have kind of like maintenance portal work, right?
He said absolutely. He says
It's like you get a flu shot every season. Maybe you get a portal work every year or something.
he says you have to do this because of the environment we live in, because everything is energy. You have to like keep the frequency level maintained. He said, of course you have to do that. And he also did some type of energy, like vibrational type energy, even on himself.
Oh, wow.
And so it's the frequency, and as he's referring to stuff like the frequencies, like the hertz, on the megahertz or whatever it is that's on those YouTube meditations or something, how that can help someone and not help someone, how we just did, and how it's some are very soothing and healing and uplifting. He says that's, he says that in itself is helping to, it's almost like close things up that need to be, or it helps to seal things, or just helps to calm things down. And he said, it's he says, just like the music that they play in certain places, it's calming, like sometimes he's referring to a funeral home, the music that they play in there, it's calming, it's supposed to be soothing, and it's that vibration. He said, so of course these portals, we need help with that. And he said, more and more people are becoming more aware of these portals, but you look weird, he says, when you talk about them.
I know. All right. So, well, I am weird, whatever. But so how often do you think people and their families should get portal work as a maintenance kind of thing? Because 5G and, environment and stuff, once a year, maybe?
He's saying, and I feel like Albert and Erik are all in here chiming in with this. They're saying, because of the dynamics of what we live in now, the environment we live in, and everything that's going on, he said, at least 3 times a year.
Wow.
At least.
Maybe it depends on the person or the age and stuff.
Well, and it depends. He says some of it depends on what their awareness is, if these are open. He said some people can tell right away that they've got too much of something or not enough of something. Some people are more aware of this than others.
Complicated.
And so it just depends. And
you feel like something's off, hey, time for a tune up. I mean, you take your car
yes
in,
yes
so all right. So why and how does trauma cause these tears to open up in our energy body?
They all say, like in unison together, because that trauma our bodies are so powerful, that trauma has to go somewhere.
Oh, yeah.
So it finds a way to release itself. And this is what it does, because, and when I say release, it stops it from being
Blasts
in one.
out like dynamite.
Yeah, yes, but then, and then we get fragments of that in parts of our body, though, that stay tucked away with that in there. Yeah.
What about our home? Some people have a lot of like open portals in their home. How does that happen? And sometimes maybe they go to a home that is there already. Maybe there was a death in the family or something before they moved in. I mean, how does that happen in an actual home? I guess home is energy too, right?
Everything's
Of
energy. He
course,
said,
yeah,
yes.
yeah,
Yeah. They said, well, there's more to it than when people like, Erik and I is saying, like when we sell a home here, as far as in the United States, we have to tell if somebody was murdered in a house or something like that.
yeah.
And
Not in every state. Not in every state.
not in every,
Yeah,
okay, because they're just saying here in the States. And because people could feel things. It brought things to,
yeah,
it was, because you wouldn't know. It's just that people were feeling things, and he says, there was some of that brought forward with that. Also too, with that lingering around, people go into a home where there was a death, or there was of any sort, or there was an illness or something like that. And when the people leave, they don't, maybe consciously or mostly unconsciously, leave their baggage of that stuff in the
yeah,
house. And people don't know that, and they just go in there because they just see this beautifully fresh painted home,
yeah.
and they don't realize that it's in there. And it just, and the reason why it's there, because it wants to be healed. It wants to go
Oh,
back into the, back into the universe, back to spirit, or whatever we want to call it. But it's real important and he says some cultures do like a ritual in a house before they move in. They wait till a certain time of day to move in. They wait till a certain date to move in. And it's because they're aware of how things are to be aligned to move in. And then they do a blessing or some type of ritual on the house.
all
And
right.
and
But
it's
suppose you are in the home and something happens that you cause these portals to open. Why does that happen? Same reason? I mean, it doesn't have to be a death or anything.
no, they all say because the energy has to go somewhere.
Okay, same reason as for the energy body.
Yeah, the energy has to go
Okay.
somewhere. And it's not anything bad. Like they're saying, like, say, I caused it. Like, say I threw a fit and started breaking everything, and everybody had a lot of fear, and I don't know, trauma ran out and reminded them of something. And it's, it's,
Okay, that makes sense.
you got to just go in there and kind of seal everything in there and just
Oh,
get all that energy out of there. Because when you get to that level, they're telling me, when your vibration gets to that level, then everything just starts opening up for the less desirable energies to come in. Then the portals open up and stuff like that
all
for
right.
stuff to keep coming in.
Yeah, I want to ask that. So you have these negative entities and negative energies that go through these freshly open portals. Where are they hanging out before that? Well, like, having little umbrella things before, like, there's an open one. Let's go. What happens?
Erik says, Mom, that's about what it is like. That is about what it is like. Because they're all just waiting. It's they're all waiting for more or less like a vehicle to attach to get them to where they're going. Some of them don't ever get to go where they're wanting to go with that one person or persons, but they just know that somebody will be a vehicle for them. So they bring it in there. And some of us are real aware that something isn't right. And then some of us become aware when things just start falling, falling apart, like the air conditioner breaks, they keep dropping glass, or the car
Yeah.
breaks down, or just, then they're like, wait a minute, something's got to change, you know. And some people are real good about able to kind of get to change that energy within them own selves. Some people do it by rearranging the furniture, because that has a lot to do with it too. Sometimes you can just rearrange
Yeah, feng
furniture.
shui type stuff.
Yes.
Yeah,
And
weird. Why is that?
typically,
Why is that a thing? Maybe that's a physics thing, sacred geometry. I don't know. Maybe who wants to answer that question of the three or the four actually with Erik?
I
Is
don't know who
sacred
that,
geometry related or?
well, it is. And that Royal, the triple R person,
Yep.
he stepped up and he says, because it's all about how the energy, the reason why that works is because of how the, it's about how the energy is able to flow.
Oh,
And when you line things up in certain ways, you know, he says,
flow of
it's,
energy.
yes, it's about the flow of energy. And he says, and it's about the flow of energy within you. So whenever you're doing a room or an outside or just whatever, he says, you know how you just go, this just doesn't feel right sitting here like this. And it's because of how the energy can flow and flow through you, because that's what you want is energy. He says you want energy to flow through you. You want it to flow through your body and not just stay stuck in your body.
Yeah, fascinating. Okay,
Yeah.
what is a negative entity? I don't even know. What is it? Is it a soul, or what? What the heck is it? Is the devil? Devil made
Um,
me do it.
they're all saying the negative entities or energy, it's energy that's not wanted, that's not on your vibration within your frequency.
But is there a
So
difference between negative energy and negative entities?
they're saying yes, but that's not like set in stone the way they say it. There are um, there are what we would say is negative entities that are not in for our most highest good. They want us to, I don't know, I don't know if they want us to do bad things, but they like to keep us with our frequency low so that we don't continue to expand. And that they're all saying that's kind of like another level. It's like they don't want us to expand because they don't want us to expand our consciousness, because when we expand our consciousness, we become very aware of things, and then we're like moving away from the darkness more to the light, and which some of that is what's going on now in the world, they're saying. So, but we don't have to take on these negative entities. Now, the energies, they're saying that they're really the same, but they're not the same. The energies can be, say, anger or
It's more like an emotion, a negative emotion.
yes, and it's just stuff that just doesn't feel good, you know. And
Oh
it also
yeah.
can be like the energies from the food may not feel good because of
Oh.
how an animal was
Oh.
killed,
Oh, I got it.
or what they're putting in our products doesn't feel good and stuff like that. So that energies and stuff, and Or you can go buy a new car, they're telling me, and it just doesn't feel good. But then you can go into another one of the exact same car, but say a different color, or it has different rims on it, and it feels really good, because a lot of it has to do with who made the car, like
Oh,
who,
yeah. All the
there were.
energy that went into making it. All right. So,
Mhm.
what is the negative entity? Is it an actual soul? Does it have a soul?
um it doesn't have a soul like us, but it is when I say it doesn't have a soul like us, so people don't think it's a human or whatever, even though
No.
some people think there's or negative, I mean, like an evil entity or something, some people are, but they're saying it's an energy form. It's an entity. It's like, they're saying it's like, I don't know, like say a big, they're saying like a big bank, and then they have different entities within it. Those different entities within it aren't really the bank, but it's a part of the bank. And so
Oh,
they're saying, so these negative entities are their energy, their
let me help you. Let me help you by asking this
it's
question.
a,
Are they
yeah,
whole and part of God?
yeah, yes, yes,
They're the lower spectrum of dark of light.
yes, yes.
Are they are they sentient and self-aware?
They do have an awareness, yes. Yes, they do have an awareness,
So they are
yes.
self-aware.
Yes,
Okay, that's all.
yeah.
Just good enough. We'll go there. All right. So okay, what causes holes in our energy body and home to close when they should be open? I mean, these are holes that through which information, creativity, and abundance of all sorts and streams of consciousness should be flowing through. What causes those to close up?
Right away, they said fear is number one.
Yeah.
Fear is a big one.
But what I've learned is being betrayed, high self
Yes,
expectations, people telling you that you're on the wrong path, or yourself telling you're on the right path, repeated rejections and failures and
yes.
dings to self confidence and stuff like that. But you tell me, I don't know.
Well, and that comes from the fear. And they said that's
And that's
when
fear,
there's
yeah.
fear, and it is because of everything that you just mentioned. And it's a constant reminder that we tell ourselves these things, that what they're saying is true, or we're listening to what they're saying, and we're not going, wait a minute, why are they saying that about us? um, I learned how to crawl, I learned how to walk, and I learned how to do all these things on my own. If I can learn how to do that at such a young age, how can I be all these other things that are not of, as we say, love and light? But we
Yeah.
don't, we just take that stuff on. And because we believe or trust, and some of that has to do with early age trauma and stuff like that. But Erik says, Erik is saying it all comes down to fear, and that's why it's so important for us um, to have energy work done. It's just so important. It's so
Yeah.
healing. It's just it's vital to our growth.
Well, I want to ask Einstein, what is the physics behind um, having these fear related, the facets of fear, um, closing up these very important um, portals that this information and this abundance to go through? What's the physics behind it?
He says it's the chemistry within our body, things, it's almost like he's showing me inside of us the chemistry, within our body, things don't ignite correctly, or they ignite too much. You know, they like.
Are you talking neurotransmitters?
He's just I'm asking him because I don't know, because he said yes, but it's just everything in our body. You know how um, all the cells in our body, they also,
Okay.
he says,
The
so
mitochondria, everything, just the whole everything.
that what happens is when we get information that is not of positive, you know, to us, then our body like tightens up and starts triggering wrong or sparking wrong, is what he's showing me. And then this sends a message to every parts of our body, and so we do what our body just naturally does things for us, what we to like calm us down. So then he's showing us how, if we don't know what to do to say, hey, shut up, or I'm moving away from you, or this doesn't sound good or feel good, then our body starts to shut us down for us, so that we can continue to maintain in this human form. And so it just shuts things off, basically, so we don't feel, I guess, or we become numb to a lot of stuff.
Oh, that makes sense. Is that on a intracellular level?
Yes, he said yes.
Does it involve what subcellular structure? Mitochondria? Ribosome? I mean,
Y'all are talking language that is way above my head.
all right, so it happens inside the cells, basically.
Yes, because when you're showing me that, he says, when you're talking that, he's showing me inside. And he said, yes, it's inside the cells, because every cell is a living being in itself.
Yeah. So that's how these portals that should be open close up on a subcellular level.
He said, yes.
Well, that's
That's
smart.
one way. He says that's one way.
What's the other
It's
way?
not, he said,
Or other ways?
well, he says like when he's showing me like when there's some like serious trauma, like there's a car wreck, you know, like a
Yeah.
bad car wreck, or there's some severe violence in front of you, or
Well, that would open portals, it seems. Open portals
well,
that should be
he
open.
says that kind of shuts things off too, though. It
Oh.
will close things off when, you know, because our body tightens up, and that just automatically shuts things off. And he says, and when when the portals that ought to be open close, it also in a way gets in the way of our thinking clearly.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so when he said that, I'm like, so how does that work for people with dementia or Alzheimer's?
Yeah.
Are their portals open or closed that should or shouldn't be? And he says there is, he said yes. He said yes, that there is a lot to do with that. And he said if people would do portal work on them in their early stages of dementia or Alzheimer's, you would see a difference. Because when you open these portals in that, he says you're allowing the blood to flow freer.
Yeah.
Your body works more efficiently. It's like an engine that's just working at the magnitude that it's supposed to be working. He's shown me like it's humming, and everything's connected in a timely fashion. And he said everything's moving just as it's supposed to.
But it seems like it seems like trauma can close portals that should be open, but also open portals that should be closed. Is that what you're saying?
He said yes. He said
Wow.
yes, because, and it depends on, some of this depends on the person themselves, like where they were emotionally prior to the incident, where they are spiritually prior to the incident, You know, where they're and when he says spiritually, it's not that one's more spiritual than the other, because that's impossible. It's more of our awareness. One's awareness is more open than the other.
I see. All right. So it seems like some diseases can be, physical, emotional, spiritual, mental, can be cured with pure scalar energy, but some need scalar energy and Rife energy. Why is that? And Nikola Tesla and Royal Raymond Rife probably need to contribute to that, the answer to that question.
Yes, and they're all just doing their science, their math, and
Woo-hoo.
everything to
Get
me.
the calculators out, the slide
I
rule.
know. I'm like, I need a whiteboard to do what they're doing. You know, they all are saying,
And some need only Rife, I guess. I don't know. I mean, tell me.
right? They're all saying a lot. It all has to do with the individual, where they are. Some of it also has to do with there's not just one recipe for everything. Some of it has to do with the person, where they are mentally and emotionally with what it is. Some people don't believe something can help, but they're willing to try because family members are saying try this or do that. Other people are like 100% no, like I know this just has to work, it just makes sense, and that's why they only need one. Some people might need 2 or 3 different things, and that's because they feel that that's what they need.
Well,
So they
why
go,
should they believe? It should work even with not believing. I mean, it doesn't make
does
sense.
work. It does work without believing. However, they don't believe it will work, so therefore it doesn't allow it. They don't want it to work. It's almost like they're like, I don't believe it's going to work, even though
Well,
it
I
does
would,
work.
why, if we don't tell them and we treat them anyway, then it should work.
Yeah, it does on some, they're saying, but you have to remember some people want to be sick. Some people want to leave their body.
Okay. It
So,
maybe if it's a spiritual contract, then it won't work.
well, some people are just had enough.
Oh,
and
okay.
and they're all saying, and even Eric, and we have to honor them in
Okay.
that, like they're just, they don't want to go through whatever it needs to go through to heal or to get better, whatever it is, because even though you do this work on the person itself, there is still some follow-up work that they need to maintain to keep their health going, and whatever that is. And some people just, they just don't want to.
Well, what about this person that I'm working on that has cancer, and they're having imaging on the 9th, and Eric says we're going to cure him. There won't be any need for follow-up. So, you know,
He wants to heal. All of them are saying he wants to heal.
okay.
He wants to heal. And some of us, you know, in this incident or whatever, some of us get these terminal illnesses because that is part of our contract, so that we can go on to teach other people you can heal yourself from it.
Oh,
And
yeah.
there's other stuff in there, because then we really get in touch. They say some of us really get in touch with what truly matters, what's real important.
Yeah.
Let me stop this one career and go into what I really wanted to do, like play
Oh,
music or whatever.
yeah.
You know, let me end this abusive relationship and do this, or you
Oh,
know,
yeah. Interesting.
yeah. And so there's a lot that goes into it. It's not a one size fits all. It's, but definitely if everybody was wanting to heal and really wanting to let go of this, of course it will work. They said it cannot not work because of the
Okay.
mathematics and everything of how
Yeah.
everything is. It works. But some of us just want to keep that to us. And I know somebody personally who they identify themselves with their illnesses.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And I'm just like, that just, I don't know. That doesn't make sense to me.
Or maybe to get some secondary gain out of it. I see that.
Eric says that's because they get comfort in that.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So let's go on to using dowsing rods in, when we work in the scalar field to do portal work, the healing, etc. How does that work? Why dowsing rods in the scalar energy field? And I don't know which of the three to ask, or four.
Tesla was real excited when you said that.
Okay.
He says one reason's why they work because there's nothing in there to get in the way, and the people who use them, who are really using them for the work, they've already cleared themselves away from everything, and they're depending on those rods to do everything. So they're like just the holder of them and allowing the energies to do what it's supposed to do, whoever they connect with or whatever, or whoever they're asking or whatever. He just is like, I feel like this is something that he was very passionate about knowing how things like this could work, because the way his passion is. And he says, because you're allowing the energy, whatever whatever it is in the rods, it's because he's saying that how the frequencies just flow through that.
Oh.
And it's just, and it's just a freer form of the frequencies. And also too, he says, all you have to do is just hold on and ask.
Yeah.
And it just does whatever it needs to do to give you your answers. And he says they ought to use that in the lie detector test, like getting people.
Oh my God, I know. I hold it over. If there's pee in my dining room, I say, "Who did this? Was it Bella or Scout or Scalar?" There's no getting around Mama.
I know, but yes, and it's like because
it's awesome.
Yes,
All right.
it's
Hey,
just phenomenal.
which one of these on Amazon shall I get? Is the length and type of metal important in dowsing rods?
He says yes.
What about length? Length is important.
Um, it's not real important, but you definitely, he says you don't want it too short, like 6 inches or anything that short, because
Like
you want
12 inches maybe?
Yeah, because he's saying you want it, the way he's showing me, it's because you want it far away from your heart area.
Oh.
And I don't know why he's saying that, and I'm asking him why that, and he says it's just the energy. You really want it to.
Okay, got it.
Yeah, that's what he's saying. He just says, yeah, good
What
12
about metal?
inches.
Does it need to be copper, brass? I mean, what do you think?
It doesn't have to be one over the other. He's saying most people prefer brass over copper. I don't know why, but he said, but he says but it's what you feel is good with.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Why are the rods being in the scalar field, or is it necessary for spirits to go to the Akashic records? Because sometimes it's like, find the information and click tips when you're ready, and they take forever because they have to go to the Akashic records and read information for this person, etc. So yeah.
So why is it important to go to the Akashic records?
Well, are the rods necessary for them to go to the Akashic records?
No.
Okay.
No, he says no.
All right. So sometimes I feel a magnetic pull. I mean, and I have to break them apart.
Mm-hmm.
Is that just because they're metal, or is it because of something paranormal?
more paranormal because it's your energy with, and sometimes Tesla is saying sometimes Erik really messes with you.
Oh, of course he does.
Yeah, and it's a form of play is what Erik's doing.
Oh. Now, when we try to heal people with the portal work and helping with diseases, do we actually help change DNA with scalar energy, et cetera, and the dowsing rods?
They're all saying, and Tesla is like he's the speaker of the group, which I find him to have been shy when he was here, but he's like the speaker now. He said it can change the DNA, and it depends on what it is you're healing, because sometimes the DNA does need to be healed and changed.
Yeah.
Because on some things that you're healing generational stuff, and so you're changing up the DNA. So moving forward, that can just be out of the picture, whatever it is that you're healing, so it doesn't come back.
I think it's really interesting how scalar energy is helical, and so is DNA. Can you speak to that? And then we'll close because I think we have too many questions. We need a part 2.
Well, there's no coincidence that they're both the same, and it's the frequency of them both. They're also saying how this is why when you're doing this energy work, you will notice that, and you're gonna become more aware of, they're saying, you particular, Elisa, how several energy patterns that you do in your healing have the same energy patterns in other things, is what they're saying.
What does that mean?
Like how one flows, whatever, like how a certain energy flows that needs to be cleared out, the energy that you're bringing it in flows the same way. It's like they're saying it's like it matches, the energy matches and stuff, because when you get energies, when you're doing this kind of work, you've got to get the energies, the frequencies and everything that match up and align with it, so it's almost like it clings to it to bring it out or to bring it in.
Okay, interesting.
That is yeah,
that's cool. All right, well, thank you, boys. It's an honor to speak to you, and I hope you will come back Monday after next to join Denise and I and Erik to answer the remainder of the questions. It's not that, it's not going to take as long as this one.
they all stand up and they bow, and they really are admiring and thanking you for the work that you do.
Oh.
Erik is going, that's my mama, that's my mama. He's talking to them, and they're just really admiring the work that you are.
I admire you. And it's so sad that you were so isolated and your awesome technology was suppressed. And I am going to be your best advocate. We're going to bring it back. And I don't understand why Elon Musk, is that the one or is that eBay? Whatever. Elon Musk, whoever does the Tesla cars, I'm going to buy one if I can afford it. But anyway, why he did not create a Tesla car that runs on scalar energy. Why the hell? Why? Nicola, why? Fossil fuel giant?
Backlash, and it wouldn't have been allowed to be built. He would have only been able to build one, and it would have been discarded. They built cars long ago that could go 100 miles an hour on gas and that, and they never allowed it to happen until now.
Scalar energy, you mean?
Well, they're saying way back, I feel like in the 20s or something, they made a car that can go 100 miles an hour.
I know, on scalar energy.
Okay, but No, it just doesn't work because, it all comes back down to
Money.
it really does. They say the penny, and I'm like, it's not the penny now, but it does. And Elon Musk knew that he, and they're saying he's a very smart man.
Oh
I don't know.
yeah,
Uh,
genius.
yeah, but he also knows that he can't he can't do that because they just wouldn't allow it.
You think his life would? Does he think his life would be in danger?
It would have been if he would have pursued it and stuff. If he wanted to go totally against the grid, of course
Oh,
it would have been. So, but I feel like he's a very clever man, and he's finding other ways to get information out there that just blows our mind.
that's good.
The things that can be done. But
Yeah, I hope so.
but what I hear from all of them, don't hold your breath because more is going to be revealed, and we are going to have what we need.
I hope so. Anyway, thank you all for dealing with the deep state, or what do you call it? Whoever's suppressing technology, and those who have damaged your reputation. You did not deserve that, and I'm going to do everything I can to restore it, what little I can do. And thank you for agreeing to come back Monday after next. And thank you, Erik, for bringing them forward. Thank you, Denise, for being the awesome channel. And y'all check her out at deniseramon.com. I love you all. Love you, Denise. And I love you guys who are watching this. Please subscribe. Please share. This just get out there, okay? And I'm going to have my website up and running soon, maybe by now. I don't know, by the time you watch this, AtlantisScalar.com. If you want help with portal work, I'm going to be able to help with physical, emotional, and spiritual and mental illness, only schizophrenia though. And I can do portal work on gardens, I found out. No more chemicals, fertilizers, etc. And also pets and missing persons. What else? Yes, no questions.
That's a cool one. They said.
Oak wilt disease, which is ravaging the Texas Hill Country. But I'm gonna only try that. And it's something like you don't pay until it's evident, and that's it. No risk. So we'll see. All right. Thank you, guys.
You have all three of them behind you. I want you to know. Well, four, but the three other guys,
Awesome.
you definitely have them.
Thank you. I got your backs, y'all's backs, and you got mine. So thank you so much.
All right.
Bye.
Bye. Love you. Take care.
Love you.